Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the south-afrifur podcast. You're listening to myself, Ivik Wolf, and Scratch as my co-host.
Yo.
And our two guests this evening are Tempo
Hello.
from North Dakota and our own South Afrifur in Britain, damn it, Raven Song.
Yee!
She's our
Yay.
broad abroad.
Are you?
I really
Wha-
like
uh,
that.
no, but that's broad as in girl, not broad as in.
Yes.
Well, not any.
I don't know how much that improves it.
Wait, no, that was the wrong part to put it in the sentence. You were going to say that
Anyway.
I was broad in the other way, and I was going to say not anymore, but anyway.
Well, congratulations then.
Yay!
Yeah. Hey.
I am
It-
just
it
cleaning up your
comes-
messes, Ivik. Like, we're 2 minutes in and I'm already just like fixing you up.
But I was technically fixing your mess.
It wasn't a mess. It was like we sort of misconstrued some. You misconstrued something. So yeah.
No, she misconstrued it then.
No, she
Hello,
was fine.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
How are you today, Internet? I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
You're okay, Raven.
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 Raven. Okay, well, this is also a chaos cast, so this will possibly happen where we have people dropping out at after making very strange noises.
Wait,
Oh, hi.
apologies. Don't mind me. I only, only go silent just when I've died.
Your internet's freaking out though. Just saying.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Hmm.
No worries.
Anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah, Britain has voted to secede from the Earth, so she's actually traveling further and further away.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should be getting like Doppler shift pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'll try and compensate
But-
for it.
So, anyway,
Mhm.
so what is our topic for today?
Well, our topic would probably be anything that comes to mind, and secondly, probably the Ursa Majors would be a good idea. What else is there? Because we haven't actually spoken about the Ursa Majors, and I know that I promised
Fred.
everyone that I would speak about it.
So, for the people who don't know, the Ursa Majors are the worldwide, like, furry popularity contest that we hold every year,
Mhm.
and, like, meaning that everyone can vote, and that differentiates them from the Coyote Awards, which is where only, like, authors are allowed to vote. And they are, uh, they're run by the, um, let's see. The Coyote Awards are run by the Furry Writers Guild. I think that like one of the cons actually, the con that hosts the ceremony for the uh, Ursa Majors hosts it, but it's things like furry movie of the year, furry novel of the year, furry comic of the year,
Furry website
things
of
like
the
that.
year.
Furry website of the year, all that good stuff. And uh, I have never won it. I I aspire to someday win it since I have been nominated a bunch of times. Uh, if any of you would be, you know, inclined to vote for me in it, Six is Wild 2 is actually in it
Mhm.
for best
Which
novel,
I've read.
which
which is
I
actually
hear
pretty
is good.
I don't know, man. I think
I
it could have
don't
been
know.
all right.
Um,
I found
let's
it
see,
slightly
yeah,
derivative, although it is a sequel, so.
okay. It didn't blow up the status quo and start all over. Um,
One could call it a continuation of a story written by the same editor. I don't know.
oh, right. Well, and even the same writer. Like
Yeah.
it is a novel. Six is novel. Six is Wild 1 is just a straight up novel, and Six is Wild Echoes is a novelized anthology. So it's a bunch of short stories that are arranged chronologically and have like threads running through them. But
Hmm.
it is not a novel in like the same way that Six is One is. The And then my other book, Windfall, I am writing the last story for the anthology for that, because it's starting to look like my life is going to consist of novel anthology forever. And so I'm writing a novella, which is like, 20,000 words, to put in that book, and then it'll have all the online short stories as bonus material.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm hoping to get that done for this summer so that I can come out at Anthrocon, and then we can begin the process of figuring how to send it to the faraway planet that is South Africa.
Whoop.
Whoop. And it's still easier and cheaper than sending things to Brazil.
For real.
It just takes
Really?
longer. Oh, you wouldn't believe. They have very high tariffs on a lot of things that you send in, and just ridiculous things like that. Like they for a long time didn't want like Nintendos or PlayStations or anything in imported at all, because they were hoping that their local electronics industries would just like jump on it and be like, okay, cool, we're gonna have our own game industry that has nothing to do with anybody else's. When part of the reason that the video game industry sprung up was, if you made a game in Japan, you could play it in North America. You might have to have it put on a different cartridge so it would physically fit, but you didn't have to start from scratch because it was the same console. And so, yeah. Anyway, yeah, like Magic cards. Did I tell you guys about the Magic card thing?
I think you
yeah,
might have.
You might have.
It was mentioned.
Yeah, so basically I brought them a large suitcase full of Magic cards that cost me $20, to buy weird things to put in it. It was all furry, and then we had a tournament, and everyone thought it was the best because it would have cost them the equivalent of a small new car to import that many cards.
Sheesh.
And so, anyway, and let's see. So, what else is going on with it? So, anyway, that's the Ursa Majors. The
All right, we can probably talk about the other people that have been nominated. A couple of. Let me go.
Well, I
to
know
Ursa
Zootopia
Majors.
is on there, so that pretty much clears
Yeah.
out motion
That-
picture.
Yeah.
Motion picture's been voted for. It's there. Okay, best picture: Finding Dory, Kung Fu Panda 3, Secret Life of Pets, Sing, Zootopia. Zootopia's always going to win it. Come on. Best dramatic series of or short works: Bunnicula, The Lion Guard, Littlest Pet Sharp.
That sounds dangerous.
It would be so
Yeah.
much better if it was Little as Pet Sharp.
Yeah, maybe they're card sharps.
For the past couple of years, My Little Pony's been winning it, and then there's also Petals, which is a student
that?
film.
Oh.
This actually seems pretty interesting. Directed by Andrea Gallo and Alvaro Dominguez. Huh.
I have
I'm
no idea
looking
who
it up now.
either of those people are, to be honest.
Neither do I. But yeah, so I guess if we had to give a guess, My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic might win this one.
Well, anyway, instead of guessing, I just put in the link for the Petals one.
Yeah.
Instead of guessing, let's talk about the ones we've actually seen. So,
Of
I've seen Bunnicula. Bunnicula's cute. They basically made him turns into a kind of bat vampire in this version. Are you guys familiar with Bunnicula?
Not at all.
Nope.
Celery Stalks at Midnight?
Uh-uh.
Halloween Inn?
The names ring a
Celery Stalks
bell.
at Midnight is the best one.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's basically a rabbit, a pet rabbit, and it's told us from the point of view of this dog and cat who live with the pet rabbit, but the pet rabbit is actually a vampire, a vegetable vampire, and so the family keeps finding all their celery and tomatoes and things drained of all their color and life in the refrigerator because the bunny is going in there and sucking all the juice out of them, and that's the premise. And so they think
Okay.
something's wrong with the refrigerator, but it's actually they have a magical bunny.
They're magical.
Now I understand the name.
And Mm-hmm. The Lion Guard I've
Popular.
seen. Have you guys seen the Lion Guard?
Nope.
I don't think I've seen anything on that list, to be dead honest. Not
It
even
was
ponies.
I the Lion Guard was okay. It's the basically like
It's
Simba's kids who aren't Kiara. Simba's kid who isn't Kiara forms like a dream team with like his future food, and they all get cutie marks, like in
yeah,
My Little
exactly.
Pony.
I was about to say that it's My Little
Oh,
Pony. Have
Serengeti.
we lost Raven?
Seems like it. Get
Okay,
her back
well
on.
we'll see if we can get her back on the line.
Yeah.
Littlest Pet Shop. Um, I've seen bits and pieces of Littlest Pet Shop. It's okay. Like
It's
it's not.
overtly cute.
It's very cute. It has some of the same voice actors as My Little Pony. It's made by the same studio. Um, did you guys have the Littlest Pet Shop toys when you were younger? They were big in the '90s here.
Think they were there, but not there. Welcome to
Okay,
Hasbro.
I'm gonna have to
meaning
check.
they weren't very common, or
I, I, hmm, I don't know. I don't think so.
okay.
I don't
Well,
even think
anyway.
that we had the series here.
Well, thanks to the internet, you do.
Yeah.
My Little Pony is still a powerhouse in this. Um, so anyway,
Petals actually looks like something
that's
interesting to
cute.
watch.
Like you guys can watch it. I
Huh.
I kind of want to see it.
Yeah,
I had no
actually.
idea it existed until this award, but that's the thing. Like the Ursa Major Awards' expressed intent is to promote the work of the furry fandom, like to get people excited about obscure furry fandom things, which is why my good friend Kyle Gold has said that he does not want to be nominated for any more of them because he was winning them every year, like you know, in not just in the way that My Little Pony was, but like winning in like 2 or 3 categories per year every year because he'd win like best cover, best short story, best novel, best anthology, whatever, and it was just getting ridiculous, and so
Mm.
Hmm.
that's why he has said he doesn't want to win anymore.
Hmm.
But anyway,
All right.
so
Now
best
moving on. Hmm? Moving on to best novel. Uh, there's actually a couple of strong ones in here from what I can see.
Alright, Raven.
Can you guys hear me at all?
No, I can hear you.
yes,
Okay. That being Dog Country by Malcolm F. Cross, Fracture by Hugo Jackson, My Diary by Frederick Usiku. Is that Yusiko? Yusiko? I don't know.
Usiku would be the Japanese way to say it. Then Kruger, like it's German, I guess. Oh no, that's not
Lieutenant
the
of the.
artist name. That's. Is that the artist
Oh,
name, or is Kathy Garrison Kellogg the
Dorothy
name?
Garrison Kellogg would be it, but that's a really long name then. My
Yeah.
Diary by Frederick Usiku Kruger, Lieutenant of the Raccoon Hyena Brigade.
Oh, that's quite long.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Then the
I guess you save on art if you make your title long enough.
then the Origin Chronicles. What's that? Minnow. I'd say Minnow by Justin Swatsworth, and then your own book, Six's Wild Echoes.
How did that get there?
Mm.
Oh boy.
That's
Yeah,
how
but
it's
Quality.
just
That's how
convenient
it
that we're
got there.
talking about this thing.
yeah.
Um. So, let's see.
Hmm.
Well, that's cool. I'm grabbing the cover art and stuff so you guys can see.
Yeah. I think you've already talked about your book. None of us have actually had a look at the other ones, but I know that these authors that I'm reading here are actually pretty good.
Yep.
On Amazon, if you search for Sixes Wild, you get my 2 books, and then a shirtless buff man, and then another book of mine, and then a thing where you have sex with a wolf, I guess, and then George R. R. Martin.
Wow. That's quite the cost.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, let us
So
continue bravely down the list. So
Best short fiction, there are 3 by Mary E. Loud in there. That's interestingly enough, like we've actually beyond Fur Planet Productions, we've had interviews with somebody who is, I think it's Thurston. No, Thurston isn't busy with Go, but he is publishing with them, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he
he was
is.
on here a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, he was. Thurston
Oh,
Hall
okay.
was on here, yeah.
Hmm. So yeah, 3 books by Mary E. Loud in Claw the Way to Victory, then Claw the Way to Victory. Okay, these are all in Claw the Way to Victory. The what's it? That seems to be a compilation, I guess.
Yeah, it's an anthology.
Yeah. Gentlemen of Strength and Marge the Barge. That's an interesting name. Then Quester's Gambit with Gods in the Gods with Fur anthology, and then Sheeperfly's Lullaby in the Goal publication. And then with Husky Tear Dryden, or Alice Husky Tear Dryden, also in Gods with Fur, 400 Rabbits. That's interesting. Not
Raven,
read
you with us
any
now,
of
by
them.
the
I
way?
do want Raven.
It would
It,
seem not.
it looks like she's online with us.
Yeah, she is. I'm just thinking that her. Yeah, she's rawing.
In text.
Yeah.
So, I'm impressed by the diversity of publishers this year. Like normally
Yeah.
it's pretty much Fur Planet, Sofa Wolf, and then like Amazon or whatever. Like there are very few from, back in the day maybe we'd see more from Rabbit Valley, but I'm not seeing any this year. But like
Yeah.
Jaffa Books, I've
Amazon
not even
Digital.
heard of Dolphin Visions. I don't know about that one.
I've never heard of Inspired Quill.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. But it's cool. Um, yeah, okay, cool. So best other literary work.
Right. Raven says this correctly. Husky Tear is one of J.M. Horsey's friends.
And she
Nice.
knows
Yeah,
JM well.
Hmm.
Yeah, I met Huskateer when I was writing fan fiction of Dog City, which is a Jim Henson like Muppets
That was an
cartoon
awesome show.
back when. Oh
Called
man.
Dong City?
Yes,
Dog
exactly.
City.
Dog.
Oh, my fan fiction though, he's saying, was named Dong City
Okay.
because yes. So it's like those. Do you guys have those Kong toys there?
Kong toys.
Kong. They're marketed as indestructible dog chews,
Oh,
like
no,
an
no, no.
everlasting gobstopper for dogs.
Mhm.
And so in the furry fandom here, there's this joke about how like you could get one called the Dong that would never fail you.
Mhm.
But let's see, because they always say Kong like King Kong on them.
Yeah. Never change furry
So
fandom.
anyway, but no, Huskateer is big into Dog City. If you guys haven't seen that, I recommend you check it out. Let me find it on a clip on YouTube to show you what we're babbling about.
Yeah, it's like
So,
yeah, with the sort of the Jim Henson Muppet dog who's an animator, and he talks to his own animation, and his animation's like a sleuth.
Yeah. Here, I think this is. Here's the opening. Let's see if it's any kind of quality.
let's see.
Yeah, here's the opening for it.
Sweet.
Okay. I'll just copy this over to furry.fm. Just the stuff that you've been linking here. Oh, she's
There
gone
goes
again.
Raven. Let's see if we can have her back.
All of these are safe for work, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a fair question. Raven!
Communicate with us.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if we can get her to reappear at some point.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I'm actually kind of interested in these other literary works, just for the people who have been in here. Oh wait, yes, but because Freight Patton's in here with Gods with Fur, and then Anthro-Aquatic with Claw the Way to Victory, then Hot Dish edited by Dark End, oh, Hot Dish number 2, I guess. Then The Muse by Alex Cockburn. I've actually been, I've been following Alex Cockburn quite a bit. His books are interesting, or at least his comics are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roar Volume 7 by Mary Loud again. I'm almost considering a clean sweep in those categories here.
You guys probably don't use the slang hot dish for a casserole.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and
Not
so-
particularly, no.
No, and that's what it was, and that's why the hot dish one has like a Kamui illustration of like a 1950s collie lady like holding up a casserole,
Ah, okay.
so that like that it is a hot, and also it's a pun because like a dish is also like to dish, like to give out rumor and gossip, and so a hot dish would therefore be salacious or scandalous gossip.
Ooh.
But anyway, so it's furry porn is what I'm saying. But there's a Rabbit Valley one by your friend Alex Cockburn.
Mhm.
And then Roar Bad Dog Books is a Fur Planet affiliate. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then I'm afraid I don't know much about Alex Cockburn's work. Like, what genre is it?
Alex Cockburn's been doing a lot of interesting things. If it's background to Lucid's Dream, then it's kind of. Have you at all played Night in the Woods yet?
Oh god, I wanna.
No.
I scratch. I bought it the other day. I finished it now.
How is
over
it?
The week.
Is it worth it?
It's good, dude.
Yeah.
It's also got multiple different like outcomes and things like that.
Oh, nice.
I'm not necessarily sure whether it changes the basis of the story or anything like that, but we can definitely get there.
Mm.
Like I definitely wanna like play it more often. I know that I'm gonna call like Badge at one point, and I'm just gonna sit down and go, okay, like the two of us are gonna sit down, we're gonna make decisions together, and then we're gonna go from there.
Yeah,
I've
I
heard that
finished.
there's actually there's.
No.
Go ahead.
I finished Firewatch this weekend. That was my new game
nice.
for the weekend. But yeah, go ahead. Tempo.
But it's kind of sort of supernatural-esque. I think if I'm not mistaken, it involves like deals with the devil and whatnot.
Ah, okay,
Um,
interesting.
Yeah, if I can remember correctly, Lucid's Dream.
I heard that Night in the Woods is in game design we call it the illusion of choice. It's got like a lot of times where it's like in Mass Effect where you can like you will get to the same conclusion, but you can pick multiple ways of getting there and get dialogue that's different and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, I honestly actually like that. So Lucid's Dream, since it's a background book to this, anybody who wants to watch or read this at all. Yeah, it's very very much deals with the supernatural. Egyptian lore seems to be one of the main driving points.
Influences. Yeah. The Egyptian stuff seems to be like the thing for the moment in the furry fandom. I am revealing my age here, but I remember when Anubis was like a big thing in the furry fandom. And now suddenly like everything old is new again, and we are getting like the new Magic set, Magic the Gathering set is full of like jackals and things and bird people.
It's Amkahed.
And
It's
so,
essentially like what's his name? Egypt.
And so everything is full of like, I'm waiting for there's only been like mummy jackals thus far, but I'm hoping for like attractive jackals.
Well,
That would get those indexed.
they're by the looks of it, their dragons are essentially flying crocodiles.
I've put a link in there for the uninitiated to the spoilers at a site that tracks all the cards as they get spoiled.
The mythic
Or
spoilers.
released early. Yep.
I love mythic spoilers. Although
Oh, yeah.
I hate how the invocation set looks. That looks
Oh,
really...
the ones that are all weird and
Yeah.
look, and they're in hieroglyphics.
Yeah, it's so
Well,
bad.
yeah, I find them hard to read.
Yes,
But
it looks like a captcha.
Right.
Hello.
Hi, Revan.
Okay.
Oh.
Better.
Did that work?
Yes.
It seems to.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yay. Nice.
Hooray!
Sort of. That was
fine.
interesting.
You're being remixed, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We're hearing a dubstep
Okay, I'm
version of Raven.
Okay.
We'll just like throw in a beat. We'll start beatbox.
If you can beatbox by all means, I can't do... I have no rhythm.
okay.
Darj, Scratch.
Yes.
You should sign this.
What is this? Oh, is this for
So,
something local?
Yeah.
Okay.
what is this?
Long story short,
Jesus, cat! What the fuck? Sorry.
that's not nice.
What did the Jesus cat do to him?
Scared him, I
Did
suppose.
it turn all the water in his body into wine?
Oh god! Yeah. Long story short regarding this whole thing is, shit went down in government recently and a lot of people are pissed.
Yeah, they fired our very, very competent
It's a very, very well respected.
finance minister.
Ah,
He was essentially the only person who sort of held the gates from who is essentially a mobster of a president, if you could say that.
well, I'm glad that I'm sad that that's happening. I'm glad that we as like a world can confront these issues together, because we also have like a corrupt idiot running our country. But anyway, well, but I just asked because it didn't pop up in the chat. It popped up in the
In Skype, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sign that
So,
soon.
anyway, so the next one is best nonfiction work, documentaries, opinion pieces, and news articles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
There was that.
The Art of Zootopia.
Ooh, nice. That's a good book.
Mhm.
I want that. I still want like a hard
I have that.
cover copy of
I
that.
haven't like opened it because I know that the second I break the shrink wrap on it, I will have to write Zootopia fan fiction.
Yeah. I don't
And
think you're the
so
only person who has that.
All right,
I
so it's
actually
sitting on my shelf.
The second podcast,
Yeah.
or the second one there, the burnt furs and how you perceive porn, actually seems like an interesting thing to listen to. Culturally Eft obviously did it.
Mm-hmm.
So defs want to watch or listen to that. So those of you who know, we've obviously had
RK Mark.
I forget his RK from Culturally Eft on here as well. This is on his After Dark account. So yeah, bird furs and how you perceive porn might actually be an interesting thing to look at.
So is now what is the? I haven't seen that one. Is that like talking about like are the burn furries like the people who have like burned out of being in the furry fandom? Like they've
No. The burnt furs were. Would you call them a movement? I think
Yes.
they
Yeah.
could be considered movement. They were a movement back in the 90s, like the early 90s, that found the idea of commercializing pornography and things like that to be offensive altogether, and found that they only wanted to have clean, like, wholesome art and stories and things like that.
Yeah. Keep the furry
see
fandom
like
wholesome.
I have an interesting set of feelings about that. Like as someone who writes furry romance, like I view it as an obligation to like have to present like healthy relationships in my books. Like
Yeah.
there can be drama, there can be tension, there can be danger, but like I always try to show like, healthy relationships because I see so little of that in fiction in general, and the furry fandom doesn't have an exceptional amount of it, and so I always view that as the moral thing to do, and that includes like in a lot of these relationships like sex, and like showing how that works in a healthy way and whatever.
Mm.
And so I consider that my moral imperative when I'm writing these things, and not just to show like whatever situation I think would, oh, wouldn't this be hot if this happened, with no regard for like how that might influence some person to approach their relationships.
Mm.
Because I see, like, I'm sure that if we like jumped to a random so furry story, we would have decent odds of having like, not the best relationship. Like, oh, well, this was like a one-off fling, or this was, I have used mad science to turn my bowl of Jello into a sexy furry who wants to have sex with me. Which, isn't it, like, as soon, because Jello like dries out and like
Mm-mm.
melts in the heat and things, and so it's just not the best. Can't It dissolves if you expose it to pineapple, so it's not the best basis for a relationship.
Yeah.
But
I'd hate to be in a
the
relationship where I can't
yeah,
eat pineapple.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and actually, thank you for this that particular noise. But yes, I was going to say but Britain, it has like a proud history of growing pineapples, and I'm not even joking. It's not April Fool's anymore. I can't find any pictures of Victorian architecture or copycats of it here that don't have pineapples on them.
Yeah. The British have like a weird obsession with certain things. And I think, funnily enough, pineapples grow really, really well down in the south, near the coastline down there in like Cornwall. But then no other fruit really does well here in the UK.
Interesting.
It's just pineapples.
Which is, I was watching
We're pineapple.
I was watching a documentary on wartime, like food in wartime Britain, and they were talking about all these other things they grow, but they never mentioned pineapples. And I was like, oh, do you have to grow this in like a greenhouse? Like, what happens? And yeah, no, it was all about like parsnips and things like carrots and whatever other like very responsible foods. People were having like instead, have you guys ever? Good.
Yeah.
Raven?
Oh, sorry. We had a I'm trying to remember which fruit it was. No, it's a vegetable. Something. Fuck. What was it?
Rhubarb?
Was it parsnips? Oh no. Maybe it was lettuce. Something.
I'm so enthralled by this story, but she's not getting anywhere.
Caused absolute chaos in the shop.
This is a really interesting.
That's the most British thing on the planet.
What is the most British thing?
We
on the
couldn't
planet?
hear any
like
of
a
that.
weird artistic experiment where we're like cutting out all the nouns from this story, and so we're just like, my God, but what?
Who did what with the what?
I'm gonna find the vegetable.
Okay, but what did it do?
It's like there's a shortage of it. I think
Now?
it's cucumber.
Potatoes?
Cucumbers. We have a shortage of cucumbers in the UK.
Is that
And that's
mostly
caused
because you have
nationwide
lettuce?
panic.
Yeah,
But
I can
we're-
agree with that because you just can't have it without you can't have finger sandwiches without fucking cucumbers.
So what would we do for tea?
Well, actually, there's a funny statistic there. There was an
Recipients are
in
being used
divorce
for
rate.
nefarious- Oh boy.
Yeah.
So the
There's an
increase
increase in
of buying-
divorce rates.
Because of less
Oh, boy.
cucumbers?
No, it's not that. It's the fact
Yes.
that there are more people
Nudge, nudge,
divorced,
wink, wink.
therefore there are more cucumbers being used on a daily basis.
Oh, okay.
That seems unhealthy.
So anyway,
No, unhygienic at
Well,
the
I don't
least.
know.
to
You should wash them first, at least.
Unhygienic at the
back
least.
to the furry fandom.
Yes, please.
Back to the good, clean, upstanding morality of the furry fandom.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Hot
so
dish.
hot dish. Um,
No, we
best
were.
nonfiction work: Art
Yeah.
of Zootopia, Burn Furs, CSI Fur Fest. I
The
actually read
unsolved
that one.
crime.
The
Okay,
unsolved,
how is that?
the unsolved case of the gas attack. I was present for that event.
Yeah.
Um, I actually got evacuated for that event.
You mentioned.
It was interesting. It was they still don't know who did it, and they're basically like waiting around for evidence.
Hmm.
And so like this hasn't been put on as like an ultra, like no one, people went to the hospital, but everyone seems to have come out of it fine. So like they haven't put like a ton of effort into investigating it because there were, you know, so there were 6,000 weirdos in that building that day.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven forbid.
But and then let's see. We also
Which I actually still need to watch. I hear it's very good, and it's a very good sort of. It tends to be as accurate as it possibly can be. It does, however, sort of speak against quite heavily, if I'm not mistaken, Uncle Kage.
Mm. Yeah, that's right. I
Autocratic
remember
is the
that
term
one
they
where
used.
they presented him as like the leader of the fandom.
But an
When
autocratic one.
right, like I find in my conversations with Kage that my like he is definitely like a prominent figure, but I don't really think he has much control over what like any given furry will do.
I mean, beyond
Like,
that, a lot of the things that he says is in jest, and I think that they might have taken that out of context.
hmm like I mean, okay, I have met Kage probably like 10 times over the years, and like I mean, he mostly seems like most of his life when I've interacted with him has revolved around organizing Anthrocon and keeping Anthrocon from being seen as something like awful. Because it's one of the things like, oh, like Pittsburgh, the city that hosts Anthrocon, like they have in their like promotional like tourism videos now, they put furries in there.
Hmm.
Like it's becoming part of their, you know,
Their
identity as a
city
city.
lore.
Yeah, that oh, you go here and there are furries. Like when I have students from Pittsburgh in my classes, if I say, "Oh yeah, I'm in the furry fandom," and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, like Anthrocon, like the thing with this animal suits downtown." And they're like, "Oh yeah." And so I have two students from in my current class who are from Pittsburgh, and so they were just like, "Oh wow, cool." And so
Mhm.
yeah, it's interesting. Like they are uh like I yeah, so I don't know if the furry fandom has a leader per se.
Yeah, it is kind of difficult to sort of put that out there. I mean, look, a lot of people look up to Uncle Kage, and I guess that makes him just like that open a target to be able to come at. But I mean, if that's the case, they could have done the same with a whole bunch of other people who are also relatively prominent members in the. I think it's possibly the fact that while at Anthrocon, he does have extremely sort of like set rules as to what you can and cannot do, at least not in public.
Mm.
Yeah, like my dear friends at Bad Dragon were told that they could not have sex toys on the dealer floor,
Yeah, well,
and
they can still
because it
sell
looks
there.
bad.
It doesn't have to be on the like dealer floor. It can just be
Well, I
sold.
told them that they should enter them as art pieces in the adult art show,
Might as
and that
well.
you could buy a print of them, meaning you would just buy one. You buy a copy of this abstract sculpture
You sly
that like
devil.
represents like right, yeah. And so, but anyway, the like that I understand that, and like I understand why there is a desire to like have hard and fast limits on what people are allowed to do at Anthrocon, like because they don't want like I don't know. Imagine if like a bunch of the Nazi furs went.
Mm.
You know, like suddenly this, you know, the hotel would drop them. or something would be a total possibility. Like, no one wants to be, no one
I mean,
wants that.
it's not like it hasn't happened before. I mean,
Right.
place pulled out completely. Oh, what was it? Was that thing Midwest? No, sort of in the Midwest, but it wasn't Midwest Fur Fest.
Rainforest?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, the one where the two people were caught, or like the group of people were caught hanky-pankying in the middle of the forest.
Oh, wasn't that rainforest or
Yeah, it
something?
was Rainforest. Yeah, I think it
So
was Rainforest.
basically, yeah. Okay, so rainforest is like there's another type of con that is based on this format by in Toronto they have they have a convention in the middle of the woods, and they have a it's run by Potteroo.
Camp Farrell, yeah.
Farrell, and I was guest of honor at it, and I could not remember it. I was like, it has an exclamation point at the end of its name. And so at Camp Farrell, like you go camping and whatever, and it's outdoors. And Abondo in Brazil works the same way, and a couple other ones work that way.
Worked the same way.
Right, and so. Oh, so anyway, but yeah, there's this, just so people aren't like, oh, well, people were having sex in the middle of a hotel lobby. No, but it was at like a park, and it was a thing, and it got people in trouble.
It got a little bit furry.
It got quite furry. And so the real problem arose when like basically like the furries made enough, like people made enough trouble that it became a news story that this had happened. Like as so often happens when you have like colorful cartoon animal people doing things. Like, oh, I remember the morning after I think it was the morning after the chlorine attack at the at the convention. They had it was on NBC, and the host couldn't stop laughing, even though it was serious, because they kept showing all these pictures of fursuiters, like many of whom were like in bondage harnesses or like other things.
It happens like all the time.
Right, but she couldn't. She had no familiarity with it, so she couldn't stop laughing, and because this was and so like and that was a kind of like morning fluff kind of show, and so I understand, because that was like about the Today Show level kind of thing. But yeah, it is easy to get attention when you are dressed like that. That's why I think it was Ursula Vernon who was suggesting that more fursuiters take their suits to the protests that keep happening around my country, and because then you'll get tons of attention, and nobody can be like, oh, look at all these looters, if there's like a fursuiter there, like posing with a bunch of people and like
a massive situation.
Right, like running around squeaking at people. And so you're like, if Fox News shows up and it's like, my God, this is an incredibly dangerous riot, and someone's like, bouncing up, like throwing confetti and like covered in glitter
in a bright blue suit or something.
So in other words, protest in the way that like most gay parades go.
Right. I am like the straightest person in most of the furry writing world, and I try to be as gay as possible when protesting. When I was at the Women's March, I made sure that I was wearing like my full tempo regalia, so that people
imagine you're just going like, "Hey, darling," in like the most gay way possible.
I know. No, and it's interesting.
Joking.
Yeah, and so, but anyway, so that was interesting. I did not at any point feel my life was in danger from the attack. We don't actually like. Last I heard, we didn't actually even know if it was the degree of intentionality. What it was there? Like, did people think they were going to break this and poison people, or were some idiots screwing around, or what? And because it didn't. I have made lots of suggestions, because like the reason I'm a writer is so I'm not a supervillain, about how you could have delivered that chlorine to poison a lot of people, and I haven't had any knocks on the door from the FBI yet, but like there were ways to totally like have that chlorine get dispersed better than have it be in a stairwell on the floor.
Yeah.
And so I don't actually know. Like a couple friends of mine were like, "My God, I could have been killed." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know if you would have been killed, but
It would have sucked.
yeah, it's interesting. It would have sucked. It would have sucked.
Yeah.
Because it can make you like tense up and have like I think heart palpitations and things.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
anyway,
chlorine.
So best graphics.
Yeah.
We haven't actually done the last we haven't done the last one there, which is another one by Culturally Effed, which is 17 Misconceptions About Furries and the Furry Fandom, which is also another thing that I need to listen to very soon. That obviously came out February 11th last year, or was it this year?
No,
does it go through to this year? Yeah, last year.
It's interesting though.
There's a lot of things
for sure.
So, graphic guest story apparently. Fuck.
Dude, words. Come on. You're a teacher.
I was watching Gummy Bears last night, and that's actually what the
you
wizard
called it
Gummy
Bummy
does all the
Gears?
time. No, he says that all the time. He says like Bummy Gears and stuff like, and he's voiced by Tigger.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
it's pretty legit.
What, the like grandpa
So,
one?
best graphic story. What?
The like grandpa bear or what? Like the old one.
Yeah, the Zummy Bear, the wizard.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the grandpa.
Okay. So graphic novel.
Old man. Best graphic story. End Town by Aaron, what is that, Nethery, or do you call that Nethery? Nethery?
Nethery?
Nethery. I'd say NEA is normally a knee. Because
This
Nether
region's
is just
getting a little neathery.
Jeez,
From the nether regions. I mean, the Netherlands.
Then Lackadaisy, which I expect has a very good chance of winning. Lucid's Dream, I actually started reading it, and it's actually pretty damn good. Swords and Sausages. I'd wonder. Hi. Lackadaisy. Yeah, no, Lackadaisy's pretty awesome. I think it's actually been winning quite a couple of years now. And then, oh no, it's always either been Lackadaisy or Two Kinds. It's between Two Kinds and Lackadaisy.
They're both good. Someday I hope to be working on, and like maybe after I get this Lackadaisy game out the door, I can convince Thomas Fishback to let me work on a Two Kinds one or something.
All right. Then best comic strip is nominated is Carry On by Kathy, Doc Rat by Jenner, House Pets by Rick Griffin. Rick Griffin has been winning, what, the last 4 years in a row now? 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin and Kel by Bill Holbrook, and then Save State by Tim Weeks.
Cool.
Nope.
I haven't kept current on House Pets. How is it these days?
It's actually like the art that he's been doing has recently, like, at least over the past 4 or 5 months, has gotten like really, really good. Not that it was bad beforehand, but I mean, like, it's gotten a lot more sort of accentuated in ways. Yeah. And then moving on, best magazine, Dog Patch Press, Patch Pack Rabbits, Fangs and Fonts. It's a podcast. Flayra, edited by Cross Affliction and Green Reaper. Fur, What It's Worth, also a podcast. And Infernation, edited by Rod O'Reilly. All right. Some fairly good ones. What was it? Flayra's been up there most of the time, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it won last year, didn't it?
Yeah.
I've had a few things reviewed on Flayra. Best published illustration.
Yeah, Tracy J. Butler. With
of Lackadaisy fame.
Yeah, with the cover of the Anthrocon 2016 souvenir book. Dolphin, Hey Baby, You're the Cat's Meow in the souvenir book. Tegan Gavette cover of Gods with Fur, edited by Fred Padden. Iskra, Autumn for Affinity. We could actually do that.
Do what?
randomly like vote in just
Yeah,
a fur affinity publication. I did not know that.
I didn't
Huh.
know that. Or like a random FA post.
Yeah. And then Jen Pac Rodriguez's cover of Claw the Way to Victory, edited by Anthroaquatic for Jaffa. All right, that's actually pretty interesting. Uh, I would like to say that this year's Best Game Awards are kind of meh.
Okay. Give it to me.
Aside from possibly Major Minor, but Bear Simulator, Major Minor, Overwatch,
It has
Pokemon
Winston.
Sun and Moon.
Isn't
Pokemon Sun
Winston
and
the gorilla?
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
like it's literally the only real Anthro character.
Yeah, but it counts.
I don't know.
Primate furry sonas are always kind of weird because like they're already kind of, you know, well, like we are primates, and so it's
Yeah.
already kind of close anyway. It's a
Yeah.
Major
Yeah.
Minor thing.
Yeah.
I'm watching
Look,
the Steam
there was-
trailer.
There was a lot of jeez, if you go into Steam, I remember a couple of months back,
There's the link.
Major Minor was under a little bit of pressure because it's been mixed, because when it came out it wasn't necessarily fully done. A lot of people were unhappy with the way that it was going. I don't know, it's interesting. I haven't played it. I'm holding off until I see more positive reviews on it. I'm actually kind of, it's weird that Ego isn't in here, because I know that's been in the works for a while, Project Ego. Or maybe it was just because it was made like they started making it around 2015 or something like that. But yeah, Project Ego was, as far as I remember, Doge actually played one of the releases that they had, because it's not a complete story yet, and I know that I've yet to play it, but I remember Doge came out of came out of his room and was telling me how he was like just crying throughout the entire game. So obviously it has like some sort of effect to it. And then just that final one is Stories, the Path of Destinies. I would actually want to play that. Developer and publisher Spearhead Games.
Don't think I know that one.
Scratch?
Nope.
I'm gonna have a look for that when
I'm
we're done.
looking at it on Steam right now. I'm posting the. Oops, that's just the name. There we are.
I'm assuming Night in the Woods is probably only going to be tomorrow, next year's.
Next
thing.
year.
Yeah.
But tomorrow too.
Yeah. Although I
Yeah,
would.
there's Major Minor there. Has it? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the user reviews have become very positive as of. Well. I don't know. I'm
What
gonna
is Night
again.
in the Wood?
Night in the Woods is possibly awesome. I say possibly awesome. It is awesome.
Point
like
and click
it has
adventure
recently
game,
become
exploration game.
point and click. Well, not necessarily point and click, but like 2D side scroller. Move with your arrow keys. X and C are your like do things buttons, and
Story
space is your
driven.
jump.
It's
It's
more
very
of a social
Ah.
interaction kind of game than like there's no like boss fights. I don't think.
Oh right, Stories Path of Destinies, of course. You play that fox thing that is like the most like sarcastic person around. I actually I will rate this. I've seen Doge play it. It's very, very interesting 3D top-down adventure where your story constantly changes if you die.
Interesting.
What, like Sands of Time?
No. Like when you respawn, your story's done.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
it's permadeath?
It's pretty much permadeath, and then continue like sort of fighting otherwise. Like when that storyline finishes, then you go into the next storyline. But like at the end, you might die or you might not die, or somebody that you love will die, or somebody that you hate might be able to find a way to. Then, like your choices, the amount of you play through the story in a certain way, and you get to the end of it, but something will happen that you're not going to be happy about, for instance. And then you have to try to make different choices to figure out how the story changes depending on how much you've learned in the previous playthrough.
So you can prevent that thing from happening?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I'll take a look at it at some point. I mean, the art style looks really nice.
Yeah, no, the art style is awesome. The gameplay can possibly get a little bit repetitive, but it really is a pretty good. Like it's both time wastery and they're damn funny.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's obviously an interesting one. I need to copy this stuff too. Don't click it.
How long has Armillo been out?
Armino's been out for a while. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
that was on here last year.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, you're also...
I bought Armello and I played it, and it was super. I have some friends who really enjoy it, and I found it fun to play with people and awful to play with AI. And so, because when I had like people I could like be on Skype with and talk to, it was great. Because then we'd like coordinate and whatever. But when I was playing against the AI, I felt like I was just constantly being outclassed. Like,
okay,
yeah, I couldn't work with anyone. There was no opportunity for me to have like a bit of a learning curve.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was just, and so I found that really tough. But like,
wow.
it was very pretty.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I have to say that Automa Iskra is damn good. Oh, I'm
Link?
very happy with it.
You know what I'm sad isn't on here
What?
is Stellaris,
Oh,
which
right.
has furry. You can play as space foxes and whatever else in it.
Well, maybe you should have nominated it.
I should have nominated it. I know, but let's see. Yeah, there are tons of like crazy bird people and things you can be in Stellaris, but other than that, it's not a very furry game.
Did it come out this year
I think
or last year?
I think it came out this year, but I could be wrong. Anyway, are you okay?
Sorry. Then finally, best website, Culturally Effed, the YouTube channel, E621, Fur Affinity, the Furry Writers Guild, and WikiFur. Furry Fur Affinity has pretty much won it like on and off over the years. E621 probably has a very good chance of winning. Furry Writers Guild is a new entry, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm in the Furry Writers Guild.
Yeah, but I mean, has it been? It's a new entry this year.
On the Ursa
Like,
Major
I haven't
list.
seen it in previous years. Yeah, on the Ursa Major list. Like looking 2015, 2014, 2013. Let's just check. Scrolling.
Scroll.
Yeah, if you look at 2015, it was Fur Affinity, E621, So Furry, WikiFur, and Culturally Effed. Then in 2014, it was Fur Affinity won at Equestria Daily, WikiFur, Ink Bunny, and oh, there it is, Furry Writers Guild. So apparently you guys missed out a year on getting nominated. And then Fur Affinity's won the last 3 years straight.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Adjective Species was in here at some point. That was 2013. Huh.
I like to read a little bit more on Adjective Species. Like, I don't visit the site a lot.
I think it's a, what do you say? Like slightly, I'm not sure if it's still going. That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, it is. It is. Of course it is. What am I talking about? Because James obviously running that.
Yeah.
James doesn't leave a project to die.
Doesn't seem like it.
This Bush dude has been around for a while now. Apparently, he's now at the Renaissance Festival.
Who is this?
The guy, there was a meme popping around for a while where this guy who was dressed completely and utterly as a bush with ivy leaves, like stood up and scared the crap out of people. And he's apparently at the Renaissance Festival somewhere where Iran FC is.
Is
Also,
are,
yeah, yeah.
are Renaissance fairs like regional things, or is there a singular the Renaissance fair?
No, there are many Renaissance fairs. The nearest one to me is in Minneapolis, so that's like, I don't know, 6 hours away. And they basically have like reenactors and like, but it's not strictly historical. So you'll have like people there being wizards and people there being dragons and people there whatever. And you can go and you can buy giant like turkey legs and eat them and things like that. And they have like, people come and sell old-fashioned goods. Like they'll sell like anything you can think of as being in a fantasy setting. It appears there. Like they'll sell you mead, and they will sell you, like armor, and they'll have like jousting and battles and things.
And archery contests.
And archery contests.
Hey, I should
And
definitely go
sword
to an archery.
contest without the swords.
I could go to an archery
real
contest, but then I'd need to buy myself a freaking non-compound bow.
Yeah, like actual longbow.
Yeah, I'd fucking shoot somebody in the face with it. I'd like 500 meters behind or I say 500 meters, about 100 meters behind the actual target. I will probably hit somebody there.
My flatmate recently went to took some archery classes for the first time as like just going with a friend kind of thing. And apparently, what you're not supposed to do is you're not supposed to like lock your arm, because when you do that, when you draw the string back,
you get the badge of shame.
Yeah, he got that. He hit himself 3 times in the arm.
One of Doja's father.
Yeah.
World ranking archer at one point got like pissed off with himself during one of the long form worlds competitions, and badged himself throughout like a 3-day archery competition. It's called a badge specifically because when the string hits there, it eventually just like it leaves a red mark that if you hit it hard enough will eventually just stay there for a couple of like days.
Yeah.
Possibly like weeks.
No, it did stay there. That's for sure.
Yeah. There are stories, because now the thing is that like to obviously prevent that, these people have these arm covers, right? Sometimes. And honestly, it's like the stupidest thing that you could have, specifically because why not like, change your style just a little bit so that it doesn't happen? But because you just relax your arm a little bit. You don't really do much else. You just relax your arm, turn out your elbow just a bit, and you go from there. I'm literally doing this while I'm in the room talking about it. But the thing is that, so you relax your arm, you turn it out a little bit, you make sure that it's far away from the string itself. Now, this cover thing obviously has a beginning and an end, right? So imagine what might happen
if that drawstring hits the cover, or like
if that
pulls it off.
drawstring hits the edge of the cover and pulls it away.
Ugh.
There are stories of. Also, one of the other things that you should do is, if you've possibly splintered or hurt an arrow on the inside, because obviously it's fiber, something. What do you call that stuff?
Wood?
No, it's not wood. They're not the wood ones anyway, but like the
fiberglass.
Yeah, those arrows. Like if you've possibly like hurt the arrow a bit, so it has like a little. It doesn't look broken, but it could be. And like you haven't bent it or tested it that the shaft is still fine. that there is also a possibility that upon firing, and this has in fact happened, upon firing, your arrow explodes before it actually gets out of the out of your bow. Like a
Nice.
person has literally had, no, it's fiberglass, yeah. So he had literally had fiberglass all over his non-drawing arm. And the thing is that fiberglass cannot be picked up by X-rays.
Oof.
So you'll have a bunch of little holes all across your arm with fiberglass in it, and you can't find it.
Nice. That
Well,
sounds like
I
it
mean,
really sucks.
you'll find it eventually, but yeah, like
Mm.
fiberglass sucks. Gives you the worst splinters because like it's also clear generally, like a lot of it, or it's very fine, so it's hard to see.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And so
Isn't it sort of like asbestos in that way that it's so like small and fibrous
Yeah.
that when you work with it, you need to wear like protective stuff?
yeah,
I mean,
like
yeah. No, go.
yeah, it's the same stuff. Like it's the same kind of thing. It's very thin fibers that are relatively brittle and like they form splinters and they're pain to like get out of anything, and like they're also fragile because they're so brittle. So if you like, try to remove them, they can easily break. And so basically you kind of just have to like keep like working them out until they all go away.
Ugh.
And yeah, it's awful.
Just hope.
Anyway,
what are the more interesting things? Just like last bit on archery. That has actually happened. That Doge actually told me about is now there's one range that we go to quite often. Behind it, sometimes there's a couple of cows or this or that or the other thing.
Oh,
And
boy.
now, generally, you have a target that you're probably, always going to try to aim for. But it depends on how you draw. At one point, like sometimes people draw like pointing upwards and then bring the bow down. Now, a person had actually gone and done this. And his trigger, he gently touched his trigger, which, because a lot of these things are like hair triggers, released the arrow while he was still trying to get himself into position. So the arrow goes, and now there's this little hill right beyond the like 80 yards. Beyond the 80-yard area, and the thing is that the cows seem to like walking on this area. This guy was accurate enough to kill a cow at 90. But obviously he didn't necessarily want to, and then he also had to pay for the cow because it literally killed him, just like that. Cow just goes and died.
Wow.
So these things are not to be fucked with. They are definitely deadly weapons. Doesn't matter what you've got on it. It's a deadly weapon.
So, well, anyway, that's the Ursa Major Awards. And
Cows not included.
Yes. So, but yeah, that's the Ursa Major Awards. Go ahead and vote. If you want to vote for me, awesome. It really takes like about a minute. You basically put in your email address. They don't retain it. Then the automated system just shoots you a key code and a link, and you can either use the key code or the link, and then you just pick the ones you want. And it's actually not a straight up vote. You actually get to pick first, second, and third place within each category.
Oh,
which I like.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about like Armello earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that you might have seen it. Pangolin Fox Resists shared it on Twitter. There is now a new mod out called Guitar Mellow. So those of you who like Guitar Hero, there's the Guitar Mellow is out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Loot peripheral included. Okay, that's interesting.
When was this released?
Other Guitar Mellow? I don't know.
Yesterday,
Guitar Mellow just,
perhaps?
Yeah, Yes, probably.
Tololol.
Good pointing that out. I like Guitar Mellow though. I would love to have that as like a game.
How would you play it? How do you play like a tile-based strategy game with a guitar peripheral?
Well, obviously the same way that you play a side scroller with a guitar peripheral. You don't.
Yeah. Well, then again, there is that one guy who makes like really weird controllers for Overwatch. Like, there's a guy who like he essentially makes sort of themed controllers. Like he plays Winston on little makey banana controllers. He plays Symmetra with a microwave. Ursa, the new one, is a rocking horse and a Nerf gun. Stuff like that. There's another like really silly one. Oh, and he plays Mercy with a broom. I forgot what his name was, but I'll look it up.
All right. Well, so anyway, I have some errands and things to run as usual.
All right.
I know that I love how I'm like, I'm living like my rushed American lifestyle every time I try to connect with you guys. But this is like the weekend. And so my fiance's like, hey, let's go to the grocery store. So anyway, the at least D&D isn't on Sundays anymore. So
You
I'm not
guys
being swept away to that.
You guys moved it to some other day?
We're taking a break from it. We had people move out. We had people from our group move away, and so we're taking a break. But I do want to get back into it. I actually have a D&D thing coming up soon that I will be happy to show you guys in a couple of weeks. We should be ready to roll on that, and it's somewhat furry.
Sweet.
Somewhat furry. All right. Well, anyway, I will talk to you guys soon.
Sure thing.
Okay. And thank you, internet people, for listening. It was good. It was good to meet you, Raven. And
Yay.
I will. Yay! Thank you. There you are back. Okay, good. So anyway, all right, cool. Well, yeah. I will. Hopefully your internet's working and we can hear a little bit more from you. Maybe I can jump back in and listen to what comes after this.
I move in 2 weeks,
Music.
so hopefully it will be better.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
All right.
So why don't you throw your do you have a fur affinity or so furry or something you want to throw in the links for today? I should do mine as well while I think of it.
Somewhere Shire in Britain.
No, like
I think we actually have that. I think that
Somewhere
exists.
Shire.
Yeah.
Somewhere Shire.
I keep accidentally saying a T instead of an R when I say Shire.
Somewhere Stire.
So I live in Wiltshire. No,
That-
Wiltshire.
That's on purpose.
Close enough.
there's my fur affinity. It's my main account.
There is in fact a Somewhere Shire.
Really?
Aww.
Speeding through Somewhere Shire, yeah.
There's I don't know if you guys have seen the Funky One on FA. He lives in the UK.
The name
he
rings
draws
a bell.
The pink bunny girl all the time, and like the otter. I helped him come up with the otter character so that he would be like. We decided he is Evan, and he's from the River Otter because he's a river otter, which is in, I believe, Devon. And so I thought that was great.
Aww,
That's cute.
yeah, it
Right.
is.
And so, anyway, but yeah, I just you guys should check out. You should check out your fellow British furries' art. It is very cute and cheesecakey.
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
True. It is all pinups, is what that means. All right.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
All
Well,
right.
I will catch up with you guys later.
No, for sure.
All right, cheers, man.
Have a good night, man.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
We could probably keep gabbing for a bit.
Yeah, I like gabbing. Gabbing's fun.
Gabbity 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 gab. Wait,
Yeah.
yakety yak.
Yes. Don't come back.
I
Don't
really
talk
like
back.
that program.
Sorry. That's
I'm
the
gonna
entire
watch
thing. Like,
that.
yakety yak,
That.
don't talk back.
Yeah.
What show is that from?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yakety Yak. It was from Yakety Yak.
Wasn't it something else before that?
It was a song.
I don't know, but there was the program Yakety Yak. It was on, I think, Cartoon Network.
It was done by
Yeah.
the Coasters. Running. It was sung in 1962.
There you go. Well done. Now I want the cartoon.
Hey, I do remember this song.
Good cartoon.
Speaking of good cartoons, apparently the like new Powerpuff reboot is not good.
The new Powerpuff reboot.
Not
It's
new.
been out for a
Like,
while.
yeah, but still, like, I don't watch Cartoon Network these days, man. I mean, the only reboot reboot continuation.
Samurai Jack reboot.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm looking forward
Whatever.
to.
That thing.
Samurai Jack.
Well, I mean, it should be on. It should be on like
Adult Swim.
a thing that we can. No, but it should be on something that we can like pirate it off of. But we're not talking about that.
Yeah, how dare you? You can't do that.
Yeah.
Did you say the P word?
Don't,
I can think of
don't,
worse
don't,
than
don't.
the P word.
I know you want to, Ivan, but don't.
Placeholder.
Okay, good.
Oh my god, he said it, no!
Oh my goodness, I said it again.
Ah.
I said it again. No.
I haven't watched that movie in ages either. So many movies I haven't watched.
Lol.
Like like last weekend I think I watched They Live for the first time. That movie is weird and it makes very little sense.
It sounds like most movies these days.
Live.
All of them stuck in this weird
Except
pseudo.
It was from 1988.
Yeah. And it
Exactly. When it comes from 1988, I think from 1988 was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It had Rowdy Roddy Piper in it, the wrestler. Rowdy Roddy Piper.
And his character, his name was Nada.
Nada?
Yeah, he didn't know Nada.
And you say I'm bad, I like.
Worth it. Oh, this artist is cute.
Who's this now?
Shiny Shine.
Scratch, you say that I'm an English person, but I can't spell resurrection.
What? What are you resurrecting?
The chat on fur.fm.
Sweet.
I need to get coffee, but I want to get coffee, but I want to get something to eat too, but I'll do that just now.
Yeah, we're almost done.
That's how I
yeah.
feel as well.
So, give us a quick rundown of how Britain's been to you. Apparently, well, I mean, I know, but yeah, you moved out to the country, and then the country decided to fuck you.
Right. So I was in the London.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the London, and then I got the job as an apprentice here in the Wiltshire. And then it was kind of rough. In fact, it was very rough. Those first 2 months in the winter of working in the fields every single day, guys, I think I died.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm absolutely loving it now. It's spring, it's pretty, there was warm. I mean, it got to 15 degrees today, guys. It was so hot, freaking hell. And then, it was amazing, and there was no rain. There's no rain anymore, which is brilliant. And then we had the London attacks, which was fun. Yay. We've had terrorism attacks the last 2 weeks in a row.
Come on.
Yep. Good times. They killed a policeman outside
Parliament.
The Houses of Parliament.
Yeah.
And then
Luckily, it wasn't actually
the car on the bridge.
There was, oddly enough, there was a person who had literally predicted that it would happen.
Yeah.
On one of the furry Telegram groups. Like what had happened, then predicted it. It was either going to be in Berlin again or in like Britain.
We've sort of been like, expecting it to happen at some point. And it's sort of getting to that point now where everybody's like up in arms and they're all like, oh, must be careful,
Hmm.
can't go here, can't do that. Holidays did not phase you.
Yeah.
Like, just go there on holiday for a week and you'll come back and the world will be fine for you. It'll all be normal.
Yeah, just go to South Africa for like a week. The
Yeah.
world's normal directly after that. You kind of sit there going like, okay, cool. I've seen everything now.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love telling people about what it's like to live in South Africa, and then they look at me like, how have you survived to be 28?
Luck. Sheer luck and determination.
Have not
Sheer
lived
luck
on a
and
farm.
stupidity. Yeah, have not lived on a farm. Did not walk out at night. Don't do that at home. Do that here, it's weird. It's weird. I was walking around Oxford at 2 o'clock yesterday morning. I needed to find a taxi. There were these old ladies that helped me find a taxi. The taxi driver, then I handed him my wallet because I couldn't see out of my own two eyes. And
Yeah.
he found his fare, and he only took the fare he needed. He didn't take more than the fare out of my wallet, and then he gave me my wallet back.
What a man.
Holy shit.
Like, England is weird.
Yeah, you don't get that here.
Interesting news.
No.
Like many iPhone users,
What was that,
Wiley
Vic?
Day. No, this is some interesting news. A man called Wiley Day fell into the habit of sometimes falling asleep with his charging smartphone next to him in the bed. That routine nearly cost him his life on March 22nd, when his dog tag necklace reportedly slipped between his charger and extension cord.
And
Oh my goodness. Making contact with the exposed prongs and sending roughly 110 volts of electricity through his body. Day's chain essentially became a small conductor for the electric current traveling between the extension cord, and the phone nearly killed him.
damn.
That's hilarious.
My niece said I kept yelling Jesus. Sorry.
Why?
Oh, some of these articles, man. The city of Johannesburg is fighting a virus.
Of what?
The human
It is?
papillomavirus.
Oh, HPV.
Oh, I just heard the human, and then I was like, he sounds about right.
That's HPV. That's herpes. Or like a light case of herpes.
Huh.
Or a cold sore.
The picture that they put in there. Yeah, it does really look like fucking cold sores. It really is.
Yeah, I mean HPV is what gives you cold. If you've had a cold sore, you essentially have herpes, just like not the really bad kind. Like you have the same virus.
Yeah, Adam ruins everything. Everybody has a virus.
Yeah, like
everybody has
like 80% of people on the planet have the HPV virus. It's nothing major.
We have a new song. Everyone's a virus.
Cool.
What?
What? It's a good song.
What are you
watching? No. Roger beat. Yay!
Oh,
Roger
tennis.
Beat Rafael Nadal. Again.
Sport. Sportliness.
Go sports, go.
Oh, one thing about sports that I kind of like is that the Stormers thrashed the Cheetahs this weekend.
Super thrashed them, 53-10. So happy about it.
It's like, wow.
And did the Lions beat the Sharks?
No.
Who won?
It was the Sharks one, I think.
Okay. Alright.
What did
I
the
just
Lions?
saw somebody's Facebook status.
Let me see. Super Rugby. Crusaders beat the Waratahs. Creel's try saves Lions. 34-29.
Right.
So
That
the
sounds like you're charging me for something.
Lions won.
Ah, come on.
34 to 20.
Come on.
Sweet.
Tweet.
Why are we talking sports?
All right. I don't know why we're talking sports because sports. I just saw the Google News update and it was actually pretty interesting. All right. Okay. Cool. So, what am I going to do? I am going to be doing
Got a new pound coin.
I'll be doing the new pound coin.
Yeah, sorry, we got a new pound coin, and it's got like a whole bunch of hexagony sides to it. It looks really, really, really fancy, and there's like the biggest problem with it is none of the car parking meters, none of the vending machines, none of the anything really is designed to take this fucking coin.
Sheesh.
That's smart.
So, yeah, I know. Like, they didn't think about that at all.
Congratulations, Britain. You basically introduced the useless coin.
Yo.
Yep. But it's pretty.
Well, you know what? It can't beat the Zimbabwean coin.
Which coin is that?
Which one?
There was a coin that they brought out that literally could break itself in half.
Cool.
Isn't it the one that sort of looks like our new 5 rand, the one with the like bronze inset and the silver ring?
It was something similar, because in essence it was brittle as hell, and people literally could break it with their hands. It was like, I don't know, it was like breaking like a chocolate coin.
Nice.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Let me see if I can find it. Zimbabwean currency, no, coin. The one that bond coins. It was the bond coins that they brought out.
Those guys had a lot of like trouble with their bond coins.
Zimbabwe has a lot of problems.
Yeah, dollar bond coin. Yeah, like the thing is they're buying things on bonds and they were never sure whether... Yeah, you see now the Zimbabwean bond coin is different in that it's got the silver on the inside and then the bronze on the outside.
Oh, okay, I see now.
Being too frail and small to pay the interest... Okay, sorry, that was just the economy. Never mind.
Lol.
Oh, goodness. So, yeah. That does sort of bring us to the end of the podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Tempo's on here twice.
Yeah.
On first stream. And then Kink and ZA, we'd like to thank them. And we'd like to thank Raven for being here and listening and sometimes commenting. Martin Z Fox, thanks for listening. Das Porky, Amelon, Brastos, Phoenix, Terrador, Wolf. Hey? What now?
No, I said when my internet actually works, then I can actually comment.
No, true. This is true. Matthew and Wolful Steel Paw. And guest 538, guest 609, guest 797, and guest 945. All from really, really interesting parts of both Germany and Finland. I think that's the Finnish flag. The blue cross with the white.
That's...
yes. Sweden.
Is it Norway, Sweden, or Finland? I swear it's
yellow
Finland.
and blue.
Okay, so it's not Finland. Okay, good.
And then white on blue, and the other one's blue on white, and then Sweden is yellow and blue.
Yeah, think of the IKEA colors for Sweden.
Okay.
No joke.
It comes now. Okay, cool. And thanks again for listening. We're obviously going to be playing a little bit of music after this as well, so stay tuned. I'll be playing until around about 11:30. So yeah, we'll see you guys then.
Cool. Have a good evening, everybody.
Yay.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.